win. They're all good. They're all hard and good. After you look at the stat sheet, that was a hard played game. I think by both two really good teams, and I'm really proud of just sort of our stick-to-itiveness tonight, our resilience, our toughness. Especially when they tied it up, and we had to make a stand. And I thought we did that defensively. We finally found some action that was good for us offensively. Put the ball in Grace Berger's hands, and had her being our decision maker out there. So, also inside of every game, we left a lot of points out there from the free throw line tonight, and that kind of happened throughout. That's very uncharacteristic of our team. But really happy. I know I had said going into this that our turnovers had to stay low. Some of those were not just live ball turnovers. Some of them were charges and so forth. And so that's disappointing to see that number 19. But at the end of the night, when you shoot 57% from the free throw, you have 19 turnovers, but you still manage to find a way to win. That's gritty basketball, and I'm really happy for our guys tonight.
Todd and then Seth.
Terry, when I look at the power of Grace and her influence, when it was 50-50 at that point, you'd only scored in 3 of 16 possessions at that point. You turn around, she gets the assist on the 3, she gets the assist on Sydney on a back down, and then she scores her own bucket. Is that stretch just illustrative of what you've missed and what she can do for you when the chips are down?
Yeah, no doubt. The answer to that question is without any doubt. Grace makes everybody better, and I think we all feel good when the ball is in her hand, especially in those moments. We were trying to, like I said, find some action that was going to give us different options. And as I said, I think you put the ball in Grace's hands because you know that there's a really, really high probability that she's going to make the right decision in those moments. And the kick out 3, obviously the Yarden, started that whole thing. And then her silky smooth pull up that she had there, also to help us build the lead. I said it, and I'll keep saying it. We're all thrilled that she's back.
Seth.
Talk about Yarden hitting that clutch 3. I mean, we talked plenty about how she's good, but to see her step up in a clutch moment like that, how good is that to see? And just what's it say about your team that, after Maryland clawed back to get it 50-50, you guys didn't bat an eye and just punched right back?
Well, again, I think it says a lot about who they are and, what we've seen throughout, this early, season. And I know it's still early, but there's been some moments where we've had to scratch and claw and fight. And be gritty, and no one's surprised that Yarden knocked that shot in. She's about as cool as they come in those moments, in spite of the fact that she's a freshman. But you have to have the facilitator, like Grace Berger, to set all this up for us. I mean, she sets the table, for her teammates, and gives them the opportunities to knock down big shots like that. So, just really proud and happy that we found a way.
Wilson.
Terry, on that run, especially in the second half, a lot of emotions, physical. How does your team keep its composure through all that and not wilt in that moment?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, you have a great leader in Grace Berger. You have Chloe out there that has played a lot of minutes at the point. Yarden, who is as mature as the seniors that we have out there, and vets and Mackenzie and Sid and Sarah. I mean, this is a veteran basketball team, and I think you just trust them. You trust that they're going to make the right plays offensively. Know what a good shot looks like for us, but certainly they also have to turn around and get stops for us. I thought our activity around the ball tonight, especially Chloe, around Diamond. Diamond got a few things easy, but we tried to muck it up as much as we could when she got the ball in the paint, just with high activity, and I think that she had to work for a lot of those points she got.
Okay.
Coach, this is a tough game. You got close. Talk about your players' just kind of will to win this game when it got tough down your hand.
Well, I think that's what you're most proud of. You know, the statistics are what they are. You know, we can pick those apart, but at the end of the day, you still have to have competitors, no matter who's on the floor. And you know, our job as a staff, and you know, is just to try to keep instilling, you know, good belief in them and good juice to them, and just reminding them that you know, they're built for these moments. But you know, this is a group that stays together too. They got, you know, we talked about Maryland is, you know, still Maryland, and the moxie that they travel with. But you know, make no mistake, you know, this team that is wearing the Hoosiers across their chest, they had some moxie about them as well. But they do it in the right kind of way, and that's, you know, they're high character kids that are competitors, and are all about each other. And you know, so I'm really proud of their toughness tonight.
There with about 6 minutes left, right before they tied it up, Grace picked up her fourth foul, but you chose to keep her in there, despite being a foul away from fouling out. Was there any decision or discussion about taking her out there, or were you just going to keep her in no matter what?
There was no discussion. You know, you have to have your, you know, your veteran, your leader, your coach, you know, out there on the floor, and she is smart enough to understand how to play with 4 fouls, and you know, she has a staff over there that trust her, you know, beyond measure in terms of her decisions, and in knowing that she was not going to allow herself to be taken out of this game.
Tyler.
Coach, I know you had a relationship with Sydney before she came to IU, but I guess now that you've been able to coach her for kind of an extended period of time, what is your favorite part about coaching her?
You know, I think, again, you know, we've talked about, you know, take away, you know, don't let the makeup and the eyelashes and the fingernails and all that trick you into thinking that she's not a complete basketball player, because she is a, you know, one of the greatest competitors, you know, that we have inside of that locker room. She has a high IQ. She loves the game. She loves her teammates. She's very vocal. I think, you know, the thing about Sid right now is she's becoming comfortable with this team and her voice. You know, I think she went around about that the right way, because I think anytime, you know, new faces, especially transfers that come into a program that's already established with leaders like Mackenzie and Grace, you know, you sort of tread water, you know, slowly in terms of trying to find your way, but most importantly, just trying to find your voice. And Sid's always been an outgoing kid. You know, she was when we recruited her. You know, as I always say about Sid never met a stranger. And so that's what I've been most pleased with. I just think she's handled herself in such a mature way to come in here and be a part of what we're doing.
Tyler.
Hi, Coach. As you've gotten to know Yarden more over the year, what's really stood out to you about her personality on and off the court?
Well, she's like this. I mean, she's never too high. She's never too low. You know, she was pretty sick in our last game, and you wouldn't have known it, just because she just doesn't give you. There's just not a lot there emotionally, you know, from her. She's not an emotional type of player, although we've seen it. But smart, high IQ, mature, grateful to be here. You know, good teammate. I mean, she is just going to continue to blossom, you know, in this program. I think she's excited. Her mom is making the trip. We'll be here on Sunday, and I know that she's looking forward to seeing her.
Coach, at the beginning of the year, there were questions about the chemistry with this team in terms of with all the transfers.
Right.
Obviously, that hasn't been really much of a problem at all. So, what can you talk about how that progress has been made, especially in games like today?
I think it's a testament to these kids and just the people they are, the human beings, how they're raised, realizing that there's no entitlement, you know, to be, you know, on this team. They all have a part to play. They all have a role to play. They all have to accept it. They all have to you know, make sacrifices, because some of these kids have been starters at some of their other, you know, places like Sid was and like Sarah was, and so, you know, they really just got to buy in to, you know, what we're trying to do, and that's put ourselves in a position to win games. They're all important. Every one of those kids on that bench, whether they play 3 minutes, whether they play 30 minutes. And, you know, I just think it says, it speaks to their character, how they were raised, the kind of people they are, the kind of teammates they are, and how much, I think this group really enjoys, not just being together, but competing together.
So,
I thought late in the game tonight, Chloe made a bunch of really important plays on defense. She was already a good defender last year, but just how big of a step forward has she taken on that end this year, and how hard is it to generally improve as a defender when you're already a good defender?
Oh, trust me, you can improve. There's always room for improvement, especially on both sides. But she's such a great anticipator, right? She has those long arms, athletic, and she has, we call it high activity in the gaps. She understands scouting report defense. She understands rotations where she needs to be, and that was really important tonight. And she tends to, we talk about deflections all the time, and we chart those. And so we knew going into halftime, I think we had 18 deflections. That's high activity. That's good. She's the one that if you go back, I'm certain if I go back, or once I go back and I watch film, she will be the one that got her hands on a lot of things tonight.
Jim.
Jerry, I kind of asked you about this the other day. I know every game is important to win, but this was a top 10 matchup. Everyone's paying attention to it, and whether it's just for team confidence, added team confidence, or pushing or putting that to opponents that they have to look at that playing you coming up. But what does winning games like this mean to this program? Whether it's just for recruiting, they just seem to mean a little bit more when they're big time.
Well, yes, but we are a program that we're never gonna get too high over wins, and we're never gonna get too low over losses. I mean, this league is just too stinking good, and we were able to beat a really good Maryland team, but if we bask in this for the next 48 hours, we're gonna put ourselves in jeopardy of losing to Wisconsin on Sunday, and so, we'll enjoy this, but then it'll be tomorrow when they return back to us. We'll watch the good, the bad, the ugly, as we call it, and then we'll move forward. But this is a team that has goals, and they kind of know what they have to do in order to achieve those goals. And as I think I said to you, you got to win all of them, right? In order to do what we want to do, you got to be able to win all of them. And I don't know if time will tell with that, but this is a hungry group, and they've been, like I said, enjoyable to coach, but there's still a lot of season left.
Well,
Coach, your defense was able to force multiple scoring droughts, most notably at the end of the game in that fourth. What is it about this team that's able to get stop after stop, especially against a top 10 caliber opponent?
Well, again, I just, go back to their toughness. We talk a lot about digging your heels into the floor and just getting stops, not allowing any rail drives, not allowing any, baseline penetration, just mano-a-mano, just trying to guard your man. And if we have to rotate, if we have to help each other, the goal is that we all have to guard the ball, and we all have to help each other. In the first half, we did not give up an offensive, board in the first half. Now, we weren't able to do that in the second, but we were really proud of their effort. But again, this is a team that pays attention in scout. They love the answers to the test. They want to know how to beat the opponent. They have, most of them have high IQ. Some of them don't have experience, but they do try really hard, and and because of that, I think you're seeing what's happening with us being able to be, I think, one of the top right now defensively in the day, which is our identity. That's who we are.
all right, thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you, guys.